call. We're going to go to Salt Lake City next, where Stephanie has a question about Obamacare. Stephanie, you're on the line with the Senator and Congressman.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
I want to say you guys are
Good evening.
wonderful. And I just want to say hi, Mia. This is your favorite volunteer, Stephanie. Anyway.
We'll tell her hello for you.
We sure will.
Yeah. My question is about Obamacare, or the Affordable Care Act. I know you guys get this a lot, but what are you guys specifically doing to repeal that or make it better? But honestly, marketplace has been a huge mess. And a lot of people seen their premiums go up. They haven't been able to get to a doctor. Can you guys tell me what you guys are doing to fix that?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
First of all, this is a question that does come up a lot in all of my town hall meetings, in person and over the telephone throughout the state of Utah. This is perhaps the most common question, and with good reason. The Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act was passed into law in 2010. At the time it was passed, it did not enjoy the support of a majority of the American people. At no time since it was passed, nearly 6 years ago, has it enjoyed the support of a majority of the American people. In some respects, it has become even less popular. This was passed as a 2,700-page bill. The Speaker of the House of Representatives at the time, Nancy Pelosi, informed members of Congress that they had to pass this law in order to find out what's in it. That was an unfortunate moment. It was also a very revealing moment. What the Affordable Care Act has done has been to make health care more expensive and less accessible for the average American. It has taken away relationships, important relationships that have existed between doctors and patients, so that too many of our healthcare decisions today are no longer made by patients in consultation with their doctors. Too many of them are made by government bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. Congressman Ratcliffe and I have both worked really hard to pass the Obamacare repeal bill that was passed in the House of Representatives and in the Senate just about a month and a half ago. We sent it to the President's desk. Sadly, the President vetoed that. Even though we knew the President was likely to veto it, we felt this was an important thing to go through, because if the President wanted the American people to be stuck with this health care system that the people didn't want and have never supported, he needed to explain why. So he vetoed the bill. He didn't offer much explanation, but he vetoed it. We're going to continue to work to make sure that we repeal that and that we replace Obamacare with free market reforms that we hope and expect will eventually return our health care system to something even better than the pre-Obamacare status quo. The best way to reduce the cost of health care and improve the quality is to increase competition, to open up free market forces, to put health care decisions back in the hands of patients in consultation with their doctors, and taking it away from government bureaucrats in Washington. Now, there will come a time when Republicans will need to unite behind a single Obamacare replacement plan. That time has not yet arrived. Right now, we don't need one plan, we need a dozen or more. Those need to compete in the marketplace of ideas, and I'm confident that in time we'll settle on one. We're working on that.
If I can just add to that, Senator, I mean, very well stated. There's nothing affordable about the Affordable Care Act. It's perversely named, and I know that you and I could relate to the listeners literally hundreds of heartbreaking stories where people's premiums have skyrocketed, where their deductibles are out of control, and it's really made healthcare less affordable. We can't be disingenuous and tell you that this year we're going to be able to repeal Obamacare. We've tried to do that with the President. We successfully used the reconciliation process, as the Senator said, to put that on his desk. I think what's important there is to continue to do that with respect to Obamacare and other things that, as the Senator said, a majority of Americans want. A majority of Americans want the Keystone Pipeline built. A majority of Americans want Obamacare to go away. A majority of Americans agree with us with regard to the interpretation of the waters of the U.S. as a runaway regulatory excess. And in all these instances, it's important that we demonstrate to the American people what we stand for. And if the president chooses to not stand with the American people and veto those, then we've demonstrated to the American people the choices they should make about the policies and the approaches of who should be making these decisions going forward in the elections in 2016. So, I hope that we have set out a marker that says to the American people, give us a Republican president, and the first order of business with a Republican Congress will be to get rid of the Affordable Care Act that has caused so much pain for so many people in Utah and across the country.